What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy Mills from Mill City Boxing, over at High Level Pro Boxing Media. And I'm here with the one and only, the technician, Jamaine Ortiz, my guy. And we in his beautiful gym in Denham, Massachusetts, man. This is definitely a great facility, huge facility. I mean, it has a one-stop shop. Got it all from recovery, strength and conditioning, doctors to be able to do everything else. I mean, this is a nice venue. What inspired you to do all this, man?
And just me as a fighter, I was always traveling to different places, strength conditioning for one spot, boxing gym is another spot, massage is another spot, recovery is another spot. So I was spending 4 or 5 hours on the road just going to all these facilities. And I said, if I was to open a gym, I'm gonna make sure that it's a one-stop shop, that I don't have to leave and I could get everything I need done under one roof. So I had the opportunity and that's what I did.
I like it. Stay tuned for the next video. We're gonna be doing a tour about, this whole facility. But let's get into you just had a fight, 4th round TKO in Orlando, Florida, right? Talk to me about that.
Man, it was I love fighting at the Caribbean Royale first and foremost. Orlando, Florida is like my second home. I have a lot of family there. I used to live there when I was a kid. A lot of my Puerto Rican fans are there as well. So big shout out to Orlando, Florida. Big shout out to the Caribbean Royale. They're always taking care of me as well. And it's a great venue. It's a great venue. I like it. And I was the main event again for the second time at the Caribbean Royale. And I just did what I had to do, man. It was a long time since I fought, and I just had to get back in the ring and show people the type of killer I really am.
What kind of feedback did you get off of just you were working on the Zone platform this fight round, right?
I didn't really get too much feedback, It was
no fans, any?
To be honest, I'm not even aware that. Before, I've always seen myself fighting on different platforms. When I turned pro, I said, I want to fight on every platform possible. I got to fight on Showbox, ESPN, now The Zone. Who knows? Maybe I might go to Amazon Prime.
Netflix.
I was on Triller. Netflix. There's still some more go, but just being able to showcase my talent on all these platforms is a blessing, and that's what I want to be. We want to be global, we want to be worldwide, and it's easier to do that when you have the freedom to move around on different platforms.
100%. And you've been doing some boss moves. You added a coach into your corner.
I did.
Can you talk a little bit about that? I mean, He was a professional fighter. Your uncle was telling me he fought Lara.
Felt like an amateur fighter. Amateur fighter. But yeah, I got Lester Diaz as my head coach now, and he's a great trainer, great person. And man, it's an experience with him. I can't even say too much. There's a lot of times I just be like, try it for yourself. It's an experience.
Yeah, that's what you told me.
It's an experience. There's a lot of things you can say, but not everybody trains the same, and you'll realize that once you get some work in with him.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. What you think about, after that performance, dealing with, your new corner? I'm not saying your new corner. You have your old coach as well, Rocky, right? So, I mean, how's that transition? How's that made you into the fighter that you are today?
Repeat that one more time.
How's that transition of adding him into that corner, and then also that 4th round TKO stoppage?
The transition wasn't much because I had him in the corner for the Teofimeo fight, It was just more the assistant versus Rocky was the head. It was a little bit reversed this time around. He was the head coach. So the transition was slowly. I don't really make instant or sudden moves, or shocking moves to shock the body. It was a transition. I've been working with him for years. We know each other very well. And again, the fight with Teofimeo was his first fight with me, or our first fight together. And then this was the first fight with him as the head coach. So I think it was a nice grooming process of him being in the corner but not being the head, but us still training together and still having somebody else running the show, and then him slowly getting into that head position. I think it was a smooth transition.
So, why the change? I mean, you have him as the lead coach. What was the change for that? Why you made that change from the Teofimeo Lopez fight to the one that just happened?
Just sometimes, when you're with a trainer for a long time, it works great, but sometimes, it's the chemistry as well, and sometimes you just need a little bit of a switch up sometimes, depending on what you see as in yourself as a fighter and who can bring the best out of you out.
And the shoe fits.
Yeah, and the shoe fits. You know, I'm trying to be the best fighter in the world. I'm trying to be a fighter to be remembered. I'm trying to dog all these niggas out, man. I'm here to bite their heads off, and I need somebody that's gonna get that side out of me, you know, and one that makes me feel good as well.
I like that. Let's go back to like way back. Let's talk about this title right here.
Oh man, there's a youth world title right here. I fought at the Twin River in Rhode Island for this title against some dude from California.
Lost a lot of money there.
You bet it against me?
No, just Twins
Oh,
Casino.
okay,
I bet a lot of
okay.
money. I spent a lot of money over there.
No, yeah, but I think this was one of my first titles as a pro, so it's nice. You can see it. It's a little beat up. You can carry it around and thrown around in some places, but definitely the first time I felt like a world champion, even though it was a youth world championship.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. And they're heavy and they're bulky.
Yeah.
Good material.
WBC.
So tell me about that. Like, just knowing that you had, when you got this, you received it, you brought it home and stuff like that. How did that make you feel? Like,
Oh man, to be honest, my goal is a big world title. So for all these titles, man, I just on to the next. It took a long time for me to really embrace the moment and be in the moment and be present in my life and then actually enjoy things, you know, like I got this, let me soak it up, and tomorrow's a new day. Usually I'm just like, all right, on to the next. Like, that was easy work, on to the next. Like, I'm here trying to get here, you know, I'm not trying to spend too much time being stuck, being content here, you know, like, I got ways to go. So that's how I kind of took it.
cool. Let's move on to the next one. What do we start? We start with this one?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so we got the WBC.
So
Again?
another USA title. This title, I believe I fought and won it on the Triller card. I opened up the pay-per-view for Mike Tyson versus Roy Jones Jr. Jake Paul was the co-main event against Nate Robinson. I had Israel Adesanya commentating, Sugar Ray Leonard commentating, and it was the first time I went from fighting at, you know, local shows on to Staples Centers, you know, where the Lakers play. I'm walking through LeBron's locker room, you know, and I'm opening up the pay-per-view where the world finally got to see me. The best fighters in the world, and ironically, how is it that the pay-per-view that I opened up, I was out there fight last weekend when they just fought each other, Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson.
We're gonna get into that too as well. That's dope. That is dope. So a small town kid from Worcester. This means a lot.
It doesn't mean a lot, the title. It does because it's WBC. I love all the titles, you know?
Just being on that stage.
But being on that stage, it was during COVID, no fans. But it was definitely a night to remember.
True. If you had the fans with it, it would have probably been like execution.
My family, my friends, you know, ain't nothing like getting a victory and having the people that you love around you.
Facts. Let's get into this one.
This one.
Oh,
yeah.
This one?
This one.
This one right here, man.
It's the IBF right here.
Talk to me about this.
This one, I fought, it was against Jamaine Herring
In Vegas.
in Las Vegas. Yeah, it was a great performance. It was on ESPN, co-main event. I think the main event was Janet Beck was the main event. And I did it. That was a great performance by me, you know. It would have been better if I knocked him out, but great performance nonetheless. It was nice to switch up the colors of my belts, which I had 2 green belts previously, and then I added some color, you know, had to add some seasoning to it, and I got the IBF.
Jamaine Herring, man. This is big. This is a former champion, now a friend of yours. And, you know, like, we got this fight coming up with Tank Davis and Lamont Roach, which, you know, Herring beat Lamont Roach. He's the only man to beat Lamont Roach. So it's like, I want to let everybody know that Jamaine's always been in the picture since the amateurs. So this is a big one, though. I know this one meant a lot.
Yeah.
So we got here, let's go back to the same color. See, I'm rocking green, so we're gonna keep it green.
Okay.
All right. This one.
So this one I was the main event on Showbox before Showbox is no longer here. So again, talking about platforms, I'm happy to have been on the Showbox Showtime platform before it went out like HBO. I didn't get to fit on HBO, but at least I say, hey, I remember Showtime? Yeah, I was on Showbox on Showtime. So this was against Nahir Albright, main event, Caribbean Royale, Showbox, and it was another spectacular performance.
Nahir Bright, Philly fighter. He fought Keyshawn Davis. It was one of the first fights that people said that Keyshawn Davis got tested. He got hit, clinched right away. Albright, good fighter, good win.
Side note, I was actually supposed to fight Nahir Albright on the opener for the Mike Tyson versus Roy Jones, but he pulled out with some injury. And long behold, came back around and we got to settle.
Good one right here, man.
Yeah.
He's a good one. Not a lot of people know who he is, but he's a good fighter. And this one feels like it's the heaviest one. All right, talk to me, big guy.
This is the most recent one I got. It's the WBA Continental USA title. All these titles previously were at 135, the lightweight division. This is the first title I get at the super lightweight division at the 140 pounds. And again, this was about 3 weeks ago, November 1st at the Caribbean Royale, main event, live on the zone. TKO'd the guy in the 4th round, knocked him down every round.
Jamaine Ortiz is back.
Yeah,
Jamaine Ortiz.
I'm back and I'm better.
Man, now we got the hardware out the way. Okay. What's next for you, big guy?
Man, I'm trying to stay active, busy. So I ain't got no fight date yet. You know, I just finished fighting 3 weeks ago, but hopefully I'll get back in early 2025.
You look like you're still in shape. You look like you're gonna try to stay that way. How does Jamaine Ortiz stay focused in boxing today? I know you got this luxury, spot, but in the same time, it's like, how do you get the hunger to still wanna become champion, even though you haven't been there? It never left.
Hunger never left.
But sometimes they say when you get paid, you know what I mean?
The hunger to become world champion, the hunger to be the best, hasn't left. I train every day the same. Like I got that el hambre, that hunger in me, and I'm here I started with the mission. I've been fighting since I was 7 years old, fighting for free. Money ain't gonna switch up what I have a goal for myself, the goals that I have set for myself, and that's to become world champion, not in one division, but more than one division. So,
you know what caught my eye when I talked to you about this place, when it comes to boxing gyms, owners, they get greedy on the clientele that comes in. What I took notice was you told me that, you wanted this to be resources for your team to be able to grow, even when you get out of this sport. I think that that's huge, and to me, I think that that's where I see the hunger is that you're investing into yourself, which I don't see a lot of the fighters do. So I can see that just being in here, I can see that hunger in you.
Speaking on that, a lot of people around me can say that. You say invest in myself. I'm glad that you took note of that, because my entire career I've invested in myself. I've never been cheap with anything when it comes to my body and my career in boxing. When it comes to my nutrition, when it comes to my training, when it comes to finding other resources, when it comes to educating myself, when it comes to the sport of boxing, I have not done no cheap way out, not even in training and not even things that when it comes for free. I put every ounce, every investment into the sport, because at the end of the day, this is my body, this is my health, and this is my career. And everybody knows me as Jamaine Ortiz the fighter, and I believe I'm way more than that. But as of now, I still have this bucket to fill.
That's powerful. That's powerful. Like I said, when you come to this facility itself, you could see that this is like for straight high class professional athletes, and you could tell that it's like if you were gonna do a gym, it had to benefit you.
Yeah.
So for any professional athlete that's in Massachusetts, this is the way to go. I think, you know, when it comes down to MMA, boxing, talk about like the whole outside over there. I think it's like lacrosse, hockey.
Yeah, we have all the athletes, and I think one of the things is I believe in cross training, and I think other athletes believe in cross training as well.
Sure.
And we do get a lot of crossovers. You know, a lot of hockey players, lacrosse players, football players, basketball players. They love coming in and getting that boxing in because it's hand-eye coordination. Just like me, I'm a boxer, but I love playing basketball. Different sport. I love swimming. I love playing, like, you know, messing around with soccer. It's just cross training, and I think people are always gonna see a benefit boxing into their sport.
Just stay away from the basketball court with me. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay, we'll settle that. We'll settle that.
Let's get into some of these fights in your division. Some of the people that you're looking at. You was on the phone. You look like you had like an important conversation. You can probably talk about that as well. The convention's coming real soon. Let's talk about some of these guys at 140 pounds. You know, we'll start with the guy that you fought with Teofimeo Lopez. I mean, do you feel like you'll ever get that shot again?
I'm gonna force the situation to happen again. You know, a lot of people criticized the last fight. A lot of people thought I won. It was very controversial. It was very critical. You know, in the sense that people critiqued the fight as well. Mm-hmm. And some people might not want to see the fight. He doesn't want the fight. I told him let's fight again. I confronted him about it. But one thing I am gonna do is, on my part, is make it happen in the sense of get the titles, put myself in that position for him to have to defend his title against me, you know. And by the way my performances are gonna be, they're gonna be like, nah, if this Jamaine pulls up, even though the last Jamaine pulled up and still kicked his ass, this Jamaine that's pulling up is gonna definitely kick his ass, you know, and it's not gonna be controversial. So that's how I'm moving, and that's how I'm taking care of that situation.
I like that. And it's like, people think because it's the same fighter, it's gonna be the same fight. And I'll give you an example. Jerome Boutennis fought Karen. Karen fought a certain way. Karen came in the second time, fought a completely different way. You feel like if that opportunity was presented to yourself, you would take it to him a different way.
1,000%.
And like, obviously you got the 4th round KO. Obviously, actions speak louder than words. So you're looking at every performance from now on, you know, belt to ass. Belt to ass.
It's like that. You know, I got the short end of the stick going to decision with, you know, 2 great fighters.
Great.
You know, 2 very good fighters. I believed I won both fights. A lot of people believe the same way. But you know what? You don't get paid for overtime. You know that cliche saying. So I'm just here gonna be the entertaining part of the sport. You know, that's what all the promoters are seeking. That's what the TV networks are seeking. That's what everybody on YouTube is seeking. So let's give it to them. You know, I got 2 losses already. Everybody's always worried about protecting their O, trying to stay undefeated. That was never really my concern, as I stepped up to the test very early in my career, fighting the best, and I did it again and again and again, you know. From Lomachenko, 1 fight in the middle, back to Teofimeo, you know. 1 fight here, give me a top 10. I'm taking them. You know, I'm not worried about what can happen, but I just know how I'm coming forward with it. I already know what happened in the past 2 decisions, so I'm not going for it.
I mean, you got a great resume. People don't know, you can go look through it. Now we got, I see you going back and forth a little bit with Rayo.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that.
You know, he's the champion at 140 pounds. I'm ranked in the WBA at 140 pounds. I think that would be a great fight, entertaining fight, me dominating the fight, but it'll be a great fight for the fans to watch, you know.
Do you think that, you know, he deserves his position? You know, obviously he beat Pitbull Cruz, but some people thought that, you know, it was controversial as well. What you think?
No, I thought he beat Pitbull Cruz, but thing is, they were both in the lightweight division at 135, and then they both fight for a vacant title at 140 pounds. Like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? They just automatically moved up to fight a vacant title when none of them was even ranked in 140 pounds.
I like that you mentioned that. You fought one of the top dogs at 135, and you fight one of the top dogs at 140, and they earned their spots in those divisions. Yeah. You know what I mean? So that's a good point. That is a good point. What have y'all been talking like? Has he been giving you attention or not?
No, I don't think I've been. At least for my part, I don't pay attention too much to the social medias, and you probably know that. I don't look through comments. I don't, like, if I see something, I see something. If somebody sends it to me, then I might see it, But for the most part, I'm not going around looking for stuff. If it comes on my timeline, if somebody sends it to me, I might see it. But if it's not that, I'm not really looking for nothing, and I haven't got no clap back, no direct mention. So I don't know what he's seeing on his side. But if Rayo is seeing this, just know I'm coming for that ass, and I'm trying to fight you. We can make this happen. I think Pitbull's on the card with somebody else because it was rumored they was gonna have a rematch, and I don't think that's a go. He's gonna be on somebody else's card. So it seems like you need an opponent, buddy, and just know I'm right here.
Rayo, Jamaine Ortiz, that's a good one. Now we got some other guys. Liam Paro. Jamaine Ortiz is in the goddamn mix. I ain't gonna lie to you. Check it, right? Because the people you fought in the amateurs too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like Paro's fighting Richardson. You beat Richardson in the amateurs. Jerron Boots Ennis can't get a fight at 47. You fought Jerron Ennis. I mean, we got some shit to talk about. Let's be real. So let's start with the Paro and Richardson Hitchins. What's your prediction on that fight? It's in Puerto Rico.
I know. I don't know how that makes any sense, but it's in Puerto Rico.
I think they're trying to give Subir Matias that shot back over there.
Yeah?
Possibly.
We'll see.
We'll talk about that too, because I know we had something to say about that.
All right. Who do I think is going to win the fight?
What do you think?
What do I think of the fight? I think it's going to be a great matchup. Hitchins is a very skilled boxer. I've seen Paro fight a couple times, and he's a good fighter himself. Good in and out. He can move. I don't know how Hitchins does under pressure, though. I don't think he does well under pressure.
Why, from that performance with Gustavo Lemos or previous? We were with you.
With me, with just other people.
Habla claro, tell me.
With me,
what happened?
With the past, his opponents, I just don't feel like he does good under pressure. So we'll see how he handles the pressure. Paro's in and out. I know Paro's not just a pressure fighter, which I think if he was a pressure fighter, it would be easier for Hitchins. If it was just a straightforward pitbull cruise type like this. But Paro's not that guy. He can come in forward, but he can also move and step to the side, step out. So we'll just see how he does. It'll be cool. It'll be cool to see Hitchins win. But I'll really let the best man win. I can't really say who's gonna win.
DraftKings giving out 1,000 points. Who would you put your money on?
I don't bet. I don't gamble.
Okay, that's a good one. All right then. Let's talk about. Let's backtrack. Obviously, Keyshawn Davis. I mean, you guys had a back and forth as well.
Yeah.
He fought Gustavo Lemos' previous, opponent of Richardson Hitchins, gets him out of there really early, I think in the second round back home. Is that like a fight that, interests you? I mean, he's like consistently calling out Teofimeo Lopez. What you think?
Is he in 140?
He's at 135, but he calling out Teo at 140, like if he's gonna hop into that.
Yeah, that sounds like Teofimeo calling out Terrence Crawford at 47. Like, what the fuck is you doing? He's fighting at 54. It makes no fucking sense. They just clout chasing names just to freaking get their name higher. That goes for both of them faggots.
Oh shit.
All right.
Shit.
Besides that point, that's all I got to say.